Philadelphia fans. We're cut from a different cloth. Born into a brotherhood and bonded to our team for life. We believe anything is possible because we've witnessed the impossible. While we may be from different neighborhoods, come Sunday, we are one, and we will be heard. Lehocky, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Welcome to the Lehocky Eagles post-game show. I'm Devin Caney, coming to you live from inside Ocean Casino and Resort. In the gallery, I will be joined shortly by Mike Missinelli, Derek Gunn, and of course Seth Joyner, coming off a way too close Eagles victory over the Detroit Lions. The Lehocky post-game show starts now.
To Lehocky Postgame Show on 6abc.com and across the JAKIB Sports YouTube channel, exclusively presented by Lehocky Giordano. Live from the Gallery Bar, booking games inside Ocean Casino Resort. Let's get this postgame show underway. EAGLES, Eagles.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the start of another Eagles season and the new Lehocky Eagles post-game show. We are live right here from Ocean Casino and in Atlantic City. We're live on 6abc.com and YouTube JAKIB Media Sports Network. I am Mike Missinelli, and I'm honored to be working with my partners today. The great Derek Gunn, of course, been covering Eagles for a long time, and all-pro linebacker Seth Joyner. And guys, a rather bizarre game in that we thought the Eagles were in control and it was going to be another routine Eagles win, and here come the Lions with a couple of fourth quarter touchdowns to make it really interesting, and the Eagles needed two really big first down conversions to lock this one up. What did you guys see?
Well, I said on the pregame show, one of my concerns going into this game was the fact that the first team offense and defense didn't get many reps in preseason, and I thought they would come out and have a little bit of rust. They seemed to get rid of that rust real soon after Detroit went down and struck first. But then you could tell that, especially the defense, this bend but don't break mentality, Seth, man, I'm going to have to take a lot of stomach medication before this season is over if this is the kind of defense we're going to have to watch the rest of the season.
Well, listen, I told you guys that it's just not in Jonathan Gannon's DNA. I was shocked because I tweeted during the game. I was like, was that a zero blitz that I just seen Jonathan Gannon run? And, excuse me, he blitzed a couple of times. But where you can really make hay is when you get a quarterback like Jared Goff, who's pressure adverse, and you can apply that pressure, and you can really get some good things done. But there is no way in the world you can tell me that that offense is good enough with DeAndre Swift, Hockenstein, and one wide receiver, and they put 35 points up on this defense of the Philadelphia Eagles. That makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Is it possible, and I'm looking at this game, and it looked like the Eagles had it well in control, is it possible that they relaxed a little bit, they relaxed defensively, and they played that bend but not break defense instead of taking chances to let them back in the game quickly?
No, listen, I feel like in the first quarter, I should say, they felt the pressure. I think Jonathan Gannon felt the pressure of having Detroit take the ball, right down the field. DeAndre Swift on that first series, he had 6 carries for 77 yards, and he capped it off with a touchdown. They come back the second series, and Jonathan dials up a couple of blitzes. Right. And now he applies the pressure, and Jared Goff is a little bit rattled. Now the offense kind of gets on track, and they start to make some things happen. We tie the game up, then we get an interception and go up by a touchdown on Bradbury's return. And then it seems like the minute that think we got the game in control, and that's the thing that will get you beat more than anything, is when you think you have the game in control and you start getting away from what got you to where you got to, and then all of a sudden, here they come. Here come the Detroit Lions. Goff starts to get comfortable. He starts to get in the rhythm, and next thing you know, boom, they got a game, and it's fight on again, where it should never have had to be that way.
The thing that killed me the most was once Gannon began to dial up more pressure, you could tell that Jared Goff does not handle the pressure well, which led to that interception by Bradbury to take it to the house. Then all of a sudden he goes back to this four-man rush, and you let the Detroit Lions creep back in the game, and I'm thinking, wait a minute. You have all of this talent up front in your front seven. Why are you not utilizing it to the best of the ability? And the thing that kills me the most is they had one quarterback sack against Detroit, and that was on a fluke play when Goff dropped the ball and Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham converged on him.
Well, this is going to be an ongoing story about what the Eagles have to do defensively, and we all assumed that they were going to be different this year with better personnel. They were going to be better against the run. They were going to blitz a little more, be a little more aggressive. It didn't turn out that way in this game, but maybe the big lead shaped that, and of course we'll talk about that. And there's some very good and some bad things in this game. So let's first talk about the good. T.O. is back in town, all right? A.J. Brown, an amazing debut for the Eagles, 10 catches for 155 yards in this game, and he gives them now a reliable weapon. They couldn't handle A.J. Brown. Now, conversely, Devontae Smith was kind of invisible, but I think the Lions decided to try to single up guys, and if they doubled A.J. Brown, Smith was going to hurt him. But what a debut, Seth.
Listen, there's no doubt about it. You know, we were talking about it in the green room as we were watching the game. I said that A.J. Brown is worth all 100 million that they extended him for, if he's going to play like he played today. And you know, the issue is I'm waiting the entire time. I'm waiting for the Detroit Lions and Aaron Glenn to go and double him and take him away, which then opens up the entire field for everybody else to eat a little bit, and they never did it. And it seemed to me that, and a lot of people I've been following on Twitter, we've been talking about it, a lot of people have been saying, hey, you know what? You know, why isn't Jalen spreading the ball around? Well, he had a mismatch. Anywhere that A.J. Brown lined up today, it was a clear mismatch, and there wasn't any question about it. So until they adjusted, hey, we always say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Go back to the well as many times as you can go back if they're not going to adjust to it. They didn't adjust, and he had a hell of a day.
Well, here's the other question, and we have to address this because the two questions coming in were, did Jonathan Gannon influence defense and would it look differently? And also, Jalen Hurts. Always going to be the topic. So Aaron Glenn decided to come out and blitz the heck out of him early. And when he did blitz, and I thought he got off it a little bit, Derek, when he did blitz, it looks like Jalen's first instinct was to get out of Dodge. And Seth, we were talking about this. Sometimes you just have to kind of stay in there and find a hot receiver.
Well, a lot of times, see, and this is the part of it all, you know, you got to really look at it and understand. If they bring pressure and they play zone behind it, okay, then he can stay in the pocket, and he wants to scramble horizontally to give his receivers an opportunity to find the holes in the zone and come back to him. But if they're in man coverage, and they're going to blitz, particularly if they're in zero coverage, and he can get out, then of course you want to break the line of scrimmage and take off, because if it's single high safety, by the time that guy realizes, you know, that what's going on, he's 20, 30 yards back. Everybody else is got their back turned in man-to-man coverage, so now you can take what you can get. But there are times, I believe, there are times like late in the game, you know, I believe it was 3rd and 7, and they came with a blitz, and Jalen escaped. Instead of him escaping and looking to pass the ball, he escaped and was looking to run the ball. And I think there was an opportunity there. But listen, it's the first game of the season.
Listen, it's a good thing, Derek, that he's got that ability to get out of there, because he stung them early on, and maybe that's why Aaron Glenn didn't go back to it. But what did you see with Jalen?
Yeah, the thing that I kept saying to Seth in the green room was, where's the hot read? Because Detroit basically was telling you, especially in the second half, they were going to blitz. Where's your hot read from your offense? to keep your quarterback out of trouble. Because look at how many times Jalen had to run for his life, and in a number of cases just flipped the ball out of bounds, which was a smart move by him to keep from taking a quarterback sack. But I just didn't like the way the offense was structured in terms of countering the blitz. When you play a game, it's point, counterpoint. I didn't think the offense had enough counterpoints, and they allowed Detroit to creep back into this thing. Now, obviously, it's the first game, and I said at the beginning on our pregame show, if you're going to be rusty coming out, it's a good thing to play the likes of the Detroit Lions because you can make your mistakes in this game and come out on top. I just didn't expect it to be this close.
I'll give the Lions a little bit of credit because they did try to live up to their hard knocks image where this whole tough guy and we fight and all that stuff, and they did fight pretty well. And we got to give a shout out to Philly native DeAndre Swift was a monster today. DeAndre, 15 carries, 144 yards, caught a few more balls for 31 more yards, 175 yards against the Eagles today.
Well, I think one of the other problems you get into when you don't practice full speed is that when the game is live and the intensity level goes up the way that it does in the first week of the season, now all of a sudden you're playing at an intensity deficit. So as I'm watching this, that first series, DeAndre Swift just did what he wanted to do. Now, I realized he was a bad dude, but, to have darn near 100 yards in the first half, that's unconscionable against this defense that's supposed to be that much improved.
So
with a linebacker.
Is this a shot at what they did not do in preseason? Because he does not like to hit in preseason. Conversely, the Lions really went after it. Is that a factor in a game like this?
Listen, let me tell you something. The Eagles can ill afford to give up 183 yards rushing the game, especially when you're playing against a quarterback who's not mobile. Can't do that.
How many tackles did we watch them miss in this game? That's ridiculous. Some of the poor tackling in this game. But then again, we expect that when you don't live practice tackling like Detroit did. They had a very rigorous training camp. It showed. And, now you got to get that rust off. You got to get up to speed because a much better opponent is coming 8 days from now.
Yeah, so they looked at the lines. This line was originally 4 points. So we're here. We got the sports book behind us. Originally, it went up to 5.5, and it turned out to be a pretty close game, and that shows you how much they know about these games. But I'm curious to know what the carryover of a game like this. You want to get out of game one not injured and get out with a win no matter how it happens, and you see some flaws that you're going to have to correct. So 2 delay a game penalties. There was a 12-man on the field penalty. These little things have to get on. It can't happen. But they're okay, right? Are they okay?
Listen, I think, again, when you don't practice full speed and you don't play your guys in preseason, you're going to have some lapses in areas it just comes with the territory. You're going to have penalties. I'm looking here now. I'm trying to see exactly how many penalties they had, throughout the game. But there was a couple of series that was basically stalled out, directly or indirectly, because of penalties. And
they had 10 penalties.
Well,
penalties.
That's way too many penalties, if you're going to be successful. But to your point, Mike, listen, the offense is going to walk away feeling pretty good about themselves because when you can put up 38 points, and I know we're going to attribute 7 of those, to the defensive side of the ball, but when you can put up 38 points, you got to feel pretty darn good about yourself. As a defense, if I played on the defense and we gave up 34 points, it'd take me a little extra time to get out of the locker room tonight.
Jalen Hurts, 17 rushing attempts. A lot of were jailbreak where he had to avoid a blitz. I get it. 17 rushing attempts for 90. It's the beauty of Jalen Hurts that he can do that. But again, we're looking at they wanted to reduce that coming into this year.
I don't want to see my quarterback carrying the ball 17 times in a game. I don't. It's athletic and as good as he is, and he can take the heart out of a defense by taking off and running. The last thing I want to do, look at the one unnecessary shot he took. I thought it was going to be a concussion protocol when he took that shot. So when you frustrate a defense like that, what's going to happen? They're going to try to take every shot they can at a quarterback like that. And even though they also got tacked on a unnecessary roughness penalty, do you want to put your quarterback in harm's way like that? Or more importantly, as I was telling Seth in the green room, I don't want to see my quarterback go down and clutch his knee because you cut one too many times trying to make a big play.
I'm gonna disagree, and this is why. Okay, you know that's who he is, so you can't extrapolate that out of him at this point in time of his career, because that's who he is. That's what he does. Okay, look at the amount of first downs that he kept alive and how he got the team.
Well, that's all good, Seth.
I understand.
I think he's sort of talking about a long haul situation where if you're running your quarterback that many times, he's going to get banged up. This is not what this league is about anymore.
And listen, I get it, but I've seen quarterbacks get hurt standing in the pocket.
Absolutely.
As much as I've seen them get hurt outside the pocket. Now, I said, what was the magic number that I said in pregame, D-Gun? I said Jalen Hurts needs to throw the ball 30 to 35 times per game in order for this team to kind of figure out where he is. 5 times per game in order for this team to kind of figure out where he is. He threw the ball 32 times.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't be upset with that. They ran the ball 39 times, and I know some of those plays you can slide over to the other side because they were scrambles that were broken pass plays that he turned into run plays. But at the end of the day, you can't be upset with 30-plus passes for a guy. And you know what else can we ask of him?
Yeah, but Seth, I can't be comfortable with you or my coaching staff telling me that's what Jalen Hurts is, because this is a part of the so-called maturation of Jalen Hurts.
And we're supposed to see it right now. We're supposed to see that maturation right now.
This is the definitive part of what we're supposed to see the next level of a Jalen Hurts. This is an evaluation by this organization to determine whether or not Jalen Hurts is a quarterback of the future moving forward. I get it. It's just the first game. We're going to see different things. They're going to look at the film. They're going to go back and adjust. But I don't want my quarterback running the ball 17 times, and I don't want to hear this is his makeup, because to me that's not the improvement I need to see to verify that he's a quarterback beyond 2022.
Well, I want to look at he was 18 for 32.
Yes.
Okay. They were bringing pressure. So to a certain extent, a lot of the times, it's not like there's a big difference, D, between Sirianni and Shane Steichen calling a called run play for Jalen Hurts and them calling a pass play for him. And because pressure is imminent right now, or no one's open right now, he has to run. You can't fault him for that, because at the other end of the spectrum, if he stays in the pocket and the pressure gets to him, and he got sacked once today, if we're sitting here and he got sacked 7-8 times, now we're talking about it on the other end of the spectrum.
Listen, we all agree it's a dynamic weapon to have, his legs, no question about it. And I'll tell you what else is dynamic. They found that slant to A.J. Brown, which to me will be unstoppable all year, because if you are going to adjust to that, that opens up so many other things. They couldn't. He's so big-bodied and quick off the jump that they couldn't handle it. And the safety's not going to be able to get over there quick. The linebacker's not going to be able to get it. That's an unstoppable play. That's all today.
Well, from a technique perspective, it is. If you're going to line out outside shade, if you're going to play man or you're going to play zone from the outside, all he's going to do is stem you outside and slant down inside. And that's the pitch and catch that Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown, they're going to complete that all year long. The only way that you stop that is you force his release by lining up inside and making him release outside. Now you take that away. But if you're going to make it that easy, and most teams in the NFL now, this is what they do, because they've been forced from a defensive personnel perspective where they have to play single high, where they're not playing the traditional man-to-man where they play inside technique anymore. They're playing outside technique. They want to force everything to the middle. But if you can run everybody off and get that guy across the face of the cornerback, that's an easy pitch and catch all day long.
I don't have a problem. I do not have a problem with Jalen Hurts running for his life out of necessity. My problem is with both Nick Sirianni and Shane Steichen not seeing what Detroit's doing better in countering that, okay? Now, it's not like Detroit was disguising these blitzes. They were telling you they were coming.
Yeah.
You have to have a hot read. A.J. Brown could have had 300 yards receiving. Stick your foot in the ground, one time going to slant. You kill him all day. You want to back him out of that blitz?
I get you, my friend. I get you.
You see what I'm saying?
I get you. Sometimes it's about the adjustments that you make on the sideline and the adjustments that you make at halftime.
The coaching staff.
Aaron Glenn was really, really smart, because, they came out the first series and they came after Jalen consistently in the first series. They didn't do it again until the end of the second quarter.
Absolutely.
And then they stopped after halftime and they didn't do it again till like midway through the fourth quarter. So now you can look at it one or two ways. They didn't really see it as that much of a deal because Jalen was escaping, or you can look at it from the standpoint and say, well, they don't do a very good job of adjusting to what they see and giving Jalen, the weapons to be able to make the changes at the line of scrimmage to protect himself and put him in the right place.
Okay, do you agree that when Detroit decided to go back to the pressure, that was a significant reason they were able to get back in the game?
No doubt
Look
about
at how many times they made Jalen Hurts throw the ball away.
No doubt about it.
Because there was nobody. Look at that guy's wide open in the middle of the field the whole second half.
This, by the way, this show's got everything. We have Dr. Bruce who's coming on later, and we'll talk about. We don't have an injury report yet, but there were a couple of situations in this game. One where Jalen got his bell rung, and we thought it was going to be a concussion protocol situation, and the other, Miles Sanders got twisted. And I heard, Seth, you're watching the game, you go, God, please let him be okay, because it looked like that was a significant twist of his knee there on that one carry.
I don't know whether it was that yoga class, that Pilates class, or that stretch to win. I don't know what it was, but the way his knee was bent up on that play, I was like, oh my God, dude, just get up and walk.
So Dr. Bruce will join us later in the show. Devin's going to go out in the crowd. We got Lane Johnson coming up, so stay right there. One thing, let's talk about with the receiving situation, because Devontae Smith, you see a big goose egg on the board. Did not have a catch. Was targeted 4 times, but only a couple times early. And Dallas Goedert with only 3 catches. I think they've got to get the ball to him more. What did you see with Devontae Smith not getting the rock?
Well, I think they went to him early, and for some reason or other, things didn't pan out. He dropped the ball. Him and Jalen were kind of, they were off a little bit. But I still contend, and even though Dallas Goedert had, a couple of catches, he didn't get the amount of targets that I feel that he should deserve. So both he and Devontae Smith both got 4 targets apiece. I believe Dallas had 2 catches. Devontae had 0.
Yeah.
Well, that's not going to be the norm. You can look at it like in basketball terms. If a guy's got the hot hand, you keep feeding him. And obviously, A.J. Brown had the hot hand today, and Jalen kept giving him the ball and giving him the ball and giving him the ball. I don't know how many targets he had, but I know he caught a whole bunch of balls. So at the end of the day,
he had 13 targets.
That's a lot of targets. So at the end of the day, is it about winning, or is it about who actually, who's getting the ball? I'm pretty sure that nobody on that team is upset at how many touches or how many targets A.J. Brown got today just because they won. But does he have to be more balanced in what he does? I would say yes, 100%. He has to.
I'm shocked sitting here looking at the box score, and Devontae only had 4 targets. You look at the discrepancy in the targets. You go from A.J. Brown with 13, and then you have Dallas Goedert, Kenneth Gainwell, and Devontae Smith all with 4 apiece. But so like Seth was saying, there has to be more of an equal distribution. When you have this many weapons, don't get one-dimensional, because people will use that against you.
All right, we're going to take a break. It's time for a break, and when we get back, Devin Caney will lead us into another spirited debate where, maybe we go at each other a little bit. I can tell you right now, Derek Gunn and I are on the side of Jalen not running the football against Seth, who doesn't care about it. But he'll kick our butt anyway, so we got to give it up. Coming up is a debate. And also, I don't want people to forget, today I know it's a football game at the start of the NFL season, but it's also 9/11. And obviously we want to keep that in our hearts and never forget that what happened on this day, and carry it with pride as Americans to never forget. All right, it is the JAKIB Media Pond Lehocky Eagles post-game show. We're delighted to be here, and it's going to continue right after this.
At Pond Lehocky, we've recovered billions of dollars for our clients, and we're confident we can do the same for you. With over 250 years of combined courtroom experience, we've helped over 100,000 injured clients obtain some of the largest settlements in Pennsylvania. One conversation is all it takes to help you and your family get back on track. If you've been injured in an accident, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Do you stream on a Roku, Fire Stick, Android TV, or Apple TV? Now you can watch 6ABC 24/7 with the 6ABC Philadelphia streaming app.
The big story on action.
Search 6ABC Philadelphia and start streaming today.
passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction, go with trust,
Go Birds!
and go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Up, and go Birds.
Welcome to Pond Lehocky. We've helped over 100,000 injured and disabled workers obtain benefits, as well as some of the biggest settlements in the state. If you've been injured at work, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Score and save in southeastern PA and Delaware with Colony Pools this football season, and let the experts close your pool with a custom Merlin safety cover in green for the birds. And if you join our Winter Watch team, we'll give you another 20% off, and Colony Pools will handle it all. Keep your tiles on your pool, not in your pool. Fly with Colony right now, Birds fans. Visit flywithcolony.com.
Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown's 5-day used car super sale. Jeff puts an end to high prices now. 5 days of the best car, truck, and SUV deals ever. Over 1,000 vehicles, every make and model. Stop overpaying. See Jeff today and get a quality car, truck, or SUV now. The 5-day used car super sale. Experience how easy it is to deal at Jeff's. Nobody treats you better. Nobody gives you more. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown. GoJeffAuto.com.
All right, welcome back to the Eagles season opener and the new Pond Lehocky Eagles postgame show. We are live from Ocean Hotel Casino in Atlantic City, live on ABC.com. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest. He, of course, is the great offensive tackle for the Eagles. He joins us from the locker room. He, of course, is Lane Johnson. Hello, Lane. How do you feel?
What's going on, guys? Feel good. I mean, it was an ugly victory, but somehow found a way there at the end. So, got to be happy with that.
Hey, Lane, did you guys, did they catch you off guard with how much they decided to blitz you guys today?
Yeah, I mean, it's really, you have a few snippets of preseason of what this team's going to do. You always know in the first game there's going to be some wrinkles that they haven't shown or just, disguised. So, yeah, had to make some mid-game adjustments. So usually, that first week is pretty tough, because you're unprepared for some things.
Hey, Lane, I was watching this game with great anticipation. Aiden Hutchinson, really good player. I wanted to see how he matched up against you and how he matched up against Jordan Mailata today. Give me your assessment of him as a player now that you've seen him live in person rather than, just on film.
Yeah, he's a big, tall kid, strong. Kind of reminds me of Osa a little bit. It's kind of how his rush movements are. Kind of how he moves. And one thing he's really good at, as you've seen, like when they played Atlanta, if you run an outside zone, you got to be careful at tackle of really going hard at him because he likes to go inside. So you have to be patient. So, he has a lot of upside. He's going to be a tremendous player. I'll say that about him. He's going to be a great player.
Hey, Lane, let me ask you this because Seth, Mike, and I have a little bit of a discrepancy here. Seth said it's okay for the quarterback to run 17 times because that's part of his DNA. Mike and I say we don't want our quarterback running 17 times and constantly being your leading rusher because that puts him in harm's way, especially when he took that headshot in the second half.
Yeah.
What say you, sir?
I mean, we always like a safe side, but, I mean, in part of it, there's a lot of blitz zero today, so people we couldn't pick up, and he made some plays, some amazing plays, most quarterbacks in this league can't make. So, we'll take it. That hit there at the end could have been costly. Luckily, you got back up, but yeah, man, it's part of the game. So, like I said, man, the first game you kind of go in having a little bit of knowledge of what this defense is going to present you, and going into week 2, you'll have a lot. You'll have at least a full real game under your belt that you can diagnose and work from there.
Hey, Lane, and don't get me wrong. I would love for Jalen Hurts to stay in the pocket and complete 75% of his passes from the pocket behind that offensive line and only have to take off and run when everything else breaks down. But at the end of the day, when you see him take off and he's converting third downs to get you guys a new set of downs in the first half, that really kind of kept the offense and kickstart the offense in the first half, then you don't see anything wrong with it. And I know that you ain't really worried about him. You've seen that 600-pound squat up close and personal, haven't you?
Yeah, I seen. He's a strong guy. I was really looking the first couple rounds to see if he's going to come back to the huddle winded, but he didn't. And so, yeah, man, he's a dynamic playmaker, and we have some key additions this year that's helping us out, and new guys, new faces, and a lot of young guys that fresh energy. So we got to build on this. There's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad, but advancing the next week, we got a good Vikings team Monday night in the league. So we're looking forward to that, and get ready to get rested up and diagnose this film soon and move on.
Lane, Aiden Hutchinson, of course, the very talked about second round, a second pick in the draft. What was your assessment of him, and did they kind of keep him away from you? Did you see?
No, he switched sides quite a bit. I knew he would. They put him inside on third downs. And, really, when you have a player like that, they're going to move him around. They're going to try to find a weak link on the line and pick him apart. But yeah, man, he's got a lot of potential. Very, very tall, very twitchy, and yeah, man, I think he's going to be well on his way.
Hey, Lane, you get a chance to practice with A.J. Brown every day in practice. This guy had 10 catches, well over 100 yards. Did anything he did today surprise you in any way, shape, or form? He has that nameplate over his locker that says "Always Open." Man, he was open today.
Yeah, he was. He's a dynamic individual. You don't find receivers of that physicality. You saw that deep fade. I don't know how far he drug it. It's kind of hard to see from the backside, but it looked like he drug that dude at least 5-10 yards. So, having a guy like that, dynamic playmaker, it makes life for linemen a lot easier.
Lane, what do you think the focus will be on this week? He did a lot of good things, but there's some snags in there. Obviously, first game snags. What do you think the focus is that you need to clean up mostly?
We got to be better in some blitz pickups. Keep guys off of Jalen. Be a more polished game, not as sloppy. And really, I feel like that's what it's going to be.
Elaine, last question from me, man. I'm looking at the stat line here, and you guys ran the ball 32. Well, Jalen threw it 32 times, and you guys actually ran it 39 times. For 216 yards. In your mind, is that the recipe for this offense going forward? Do you guys up front, do you feel like you're at your best when you can dominate through the run first and then get to the passing game?
Well, I'll tell you what, dropping back for a pass like the Wolves are coming to you, and now I get to tee off on somebody. So I get to bring the pain. So, but yeah, man, you look back at last year, I feel like it was actually this game here, Detroit, where we kind of made a new identity with, run game, play action. But, there's going to be times where you play teams that are going to box you in, they're going to force you to throw the football. So you have to be adaptable. But I'm never complaining when they run the ball well. I love seeing those guys score and get the touchdowns. And at the end of the day, man, it's a good day.
Hey, Lane, I know how much pride you take in holding down that right side. And when we had you on a Sports Take a while back, you were talking about how much pride you have in being one of the best at your position. You were rated as not giving up a QB sack in all of 2021. What is your individual goal going against this season? Because you're going to play against some pretty good edge rushers along the way.
I don't know, Dion. I guess just go out there and do my best. It's fun going against the big-time players. It's always a privilege. I feel like they always want the best out of me. And, usually when you go against really good guys, you have that respect. And like I said, man, they'll bring the best out of you. So I just want to, when my career's done, I can say I look back and I have no regrets. I feel like I just want to keep ascending. I feel like I'm a stronger player now than what I used to be. Whatever I may have lost in quickness, I may have made up a strength. I still try to be quick. So, yeah, I'll say that, man.
All right.
That's good, Lane. Listen, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. We'll see you every week right here on the post-game show. So get in there, relax, have a good trip home. We'll talk to you.
Safe travel, bro.
Thank you.
All right, that's Lane Johnson live from the locker room, Ford Field, as the Eagles win a game that was a little closer than we all thought it would be once things rung up. So time for a break, and we'll come back. And Devin Caney bringing us into another debate where we may fight. We actually may fight right here.
You may fight. I got a bad left shoulder.
You. Come on, I need you.
I need a good fight. I haven't hit anybody in about 25 years.
Don't look at me when you say that. See, that's why they put me in the middle to keep these two apart.
Well,
I'm not getting paid enough for this.
We need a tag team here. Anyway, we're live from Ocean Hotel Casino, Atlantic City. It's the new Pond Lehocky Eagles postgame show. We're back after this.
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pond Lehocky, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Celebrating the life of your loved one is what we do at Life Celebrations by Givenish. When the matriarch of the Dalloway family died suddenly at 82 years old, Life Celebrations by Givenish stepped in.
They will make this the easiest thing that I know it's not easy, but they will make this as easy as possible.
Life Celebrations by Givenish, customizing services as unique as the individual.
I just know that my dad, who is in charge of everything, was not in charge of anything at that point when my mom passed. And again, just another shout out to this place for making it easy.
Turning tragedy into a celebration of life, no matter how hard, is what we do at Life Celebrations by Givenish. Life Celebrations by Givenish, customizing services as unique as the individual.
Since 1977 at Rafferty Subaru, we have always been about our customers and the community. Early on, a safe and durable option, we've evolved to become the best overall brand according to Kelley Blue Book. Over the last 14 years, we've donated thousands of dollars through the Subaru Share the Love event and found homes for hundreds of pets. The Rafferty family is proud of our 45 years in business. This month, celebrate our anniversary with special financing on select models. Visit us and see why.
Welcome back to the Pond Lehocky Postgame Show. I'm Devin Caney, and it is time for our Diamond Debate presented by Mark's Jewelers. Guys, we took this poll to Twitter. We asked, did Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts prove his passing game evolved during Week 1 against the Lions? Right now, 37% say yes, 33% say no, and 30% say it's too early to tell. Jalen Hurts, as you guys mentioned earlier, went 18 for 32, 243 yards passing. A.J. Brown, 13 targets. Dallas Goedert saw the ball a few times. Devontae didn't have any catches, and all touchdowns came from the ground. We had Hurts, Sanders, Gainwell, Boston Scott, and, of course, the one from defense. So, Mike, Seth, Derek, it is time for us to do our Diamond Debate. Do you think Jalen Hurts' passing game evolved in this game against the Lions today?
A situation with Jalen Hurts that it's too early to tell, and maybe we should just sit back and go, he is what he is, and it's going to be good enough. But I did not see enough today, except for the great hookups he had with A.J. Brown on that slant. Can I take that to, he's a complete passer? No, I can't do that right now.
Well, he dropped a dime to A.J. Brown on one nice floater out there, but it's way too early to tell. This is just one of 17 samples we're going to see. Did I see enough of what I wanted to see from Jalen Hurts in this situation? No. During the offseason, all we talked about is we wanted to see him be more accurate. We wanted to see him go through his progressions more. I didn't see enough of that because when Detroit attacked, what did he do? He took off and ran. Okay? Now, he has the green light to call audibles at the line of scrimmage. A better quarterback, and again, this is not a knock against Jalen Hurts, better quarterback sees that, calls the audible, looks up and down the line of scrimmage, knows who he wants in a one-on-one situation, throws that quick slant. You want to back that defense out of there? Slant them to death. 5-yard stick route inside, slant them to death if you want to call them out of there. I didn't see enough of that yet. But I like your start, though, overall.
Well, listen, I mean, the people who want to see Jalen Hurts be successful, they're going to look at this game and be encouraged. If you don't want him to be successful, then you're going to look at it and you're going to find something that faulty about. You know, the truth of the matter is we went out and we traded and got a top-flight wide receiver.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And the dynamic between our quarterback and that wide receiver was spot on today.
Absolutely.
Okay? And he made some great throws. Did he miss some throws? Did he miss Kenneth Gainwell in the flat and it wound up being a field goal instead of a touchdown? Absolutely. Okay? But tell me which quarterback in the NFL plays a mistake-free game where he completes every pass.
But that wasn't the question that Devin asked us.
I understand the question.
Right? Did you?
The question
what was
is
the question again?
The question that we've all been asking, and that is, did his passing game evolve, or did this game tell us anything about his passing game?
I am breaking down how my answer Can I get there?
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
somebody's a little testy right now.
I'm not testy. I'm just,
Mike,
I'm just being me.
Mike, move over, please.
I'm just
move this way, Mike.
You can get there.
I'm just being me because the question in a lot of ways is a loaded question. The Eagles won the game.
They did win the
game. Last year they beat this team 44 to 3, and everybody said, "Oh, we won because all we did was ran the ball." Jalen Hurts only threw for 108 yards. Well, guess what? He threw for 239 yards today. He was slightly over 50% completion rate with all that blitz coming at him. So has he evolved and has he gotten better? Absolutely, he has. He hadn't even gotten his tight end and his real number one wide receiver.
Did you see him just hit? You see him just hit me?
Yeah.
Did you
he's
see?
very feisty about the Jalen support, and like I'm with you. I'm with you. I want him to grow as well.
My only thing is, guys, it takes 95% of the players in the NFL. It takes them 3 years to evolve and become the guy. And if a quarterback gets picked in the top 10, we'll give him 3 years to screw it up before we start saying, "Oh, we got to move on and get another guy." Okay,
we're not saying.
I'm not saying that.
We're not abandoning ship here.
I understand that. My point is the expectation for Jalen Hurts and his development is so overstated that it's absolutely ridiculous. Give the guy a chance to grow.
I agree with you 100%.
Is it fair to ask the question, has he evolved to the point where we want him? Well, no, he hasn't.
He's taken a step.
Well, I don't think.
Come on.
Did he take a step? He did enough to win the game. If the question was, did he do enough to win the game?
Okay, so to your point, last year, he's got a noodle arm. He can't get it down there. He drops one in the bucket for what, 30-something, 40-something yards?
Yes, he did.
Okay. Oh, he can't make the pinpoint throw. He threads the needle in an open window. So he's answering some of the questions. Maybe we need to look at how the question is being asked to find out whether do we really want to know whether he's advancing or not, or are we on the side that we want this guy to fail so we can use those two number ones next year.
Do we want him to fail? Nobody wants.
I'm not talking to you in specific. I'm talking to everybody.
Let me go on record as saying this. Based on this game today, what we just watched, Jalen Hurts did enough to get this team a win.
Absolutely.
I blame this defense, or lack thereof, for this game being as close as it was. There's no way this game should have been as close as it was. Their four-man rush was not getting home. Gannon did not blitz enough because, as we saw in the first half on 3 consecutive series.
But wait, Jared Goff, let me ask you this.
What?
Let me ask you this.
Ask me
and
what?
I'm just looking at you here because I can't tell when the camera's on or not.
Okay.
And I want to look into your eyes here.
Look right here. Okay.
Do you think that Devontae Smith should have gotten more, at least attempts? Do you think the score would have been higher had Jalen Hurts tried to target more receivers other than A.J. Brown?
No. If the game plan plays itself out the way it is, they still scored 31 out of 38 points. More than enough to beat this team by a wider margin. I blame the defense for allowing this game to be as close as it was. They should have pressured Jared Goff from start to finish. Once you saw in those 3 consecutive series where he couldn't handle the pressure, one of which led to the interception by Bradbury, which returned it for a touchdown, that should have been your MO the rest of the game. He called off the dogs and went back to a 4-man rush and let Jared Goff stand back there and survey the situation and pick him apart underneath.
Okay,
so you're putting that 3-point differential at the end where it got way too close. You're putting that all on defense. You're not saying that's on Jalen Hurts, anything that offense did.
No. That's more defense than offense.
Okay.
This is not against Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts did what he had to do to survive and get this team points. He did exactly what he was supposed to do.
He did what he did all of last season.
Well, yeah, but in this case, they brought the Hounds a lot more than anybody expected Detroit to bring the Hounds. He stepped up and ran when he had to. He threw when he had to. This is part of the maturation of Jalen Hurts. This is just one of 17 steps we're going to evaluate for this season.
Okay, so let me ask you guys a question. If the defense steps up and holds this Detroit Lions team to 10, 14, 17 points, are we still having the same conversation about Jalen Hurts? Or are we having this conversation about Jalen Hurts because they only won the game by 3 points?
No. We still have the same conversation. We're still going to have the same conversation.
I'm just asking. Come on,
that is a hot topic. Let me tell you something, Seth. Now you
put Devin back up there. I want her response too.
Look, Seth, we have to agree. Jalen Hurts is the hot topic conversation every
I
week
get it.
because he's a quarterback.
I get it.
And everybody wants to know, is he the man beyond this season?
If McNabb threw a couple balls at someone's feet, which he did today, the swing pass to Gainwell was a play that probably may have scored, and he threw it at his feet. That was a bad throw. And he threw another one at somebody's feet. They're small. These are small mistakes. I get it. And he did enough to win against this team.
Okay.
Against this team.
See, there we
So
go.
this was, now I'm looking at the camera because I'm going to address all Eagles fans, all media, all pundits, because all offseason, which has felt like the longest offseason ever, we've been debating, is Jalen Hurts the answer? Is he the quarterback? Is he the guy long term? And I didn't think that we were going to be able to decide that after this first game, but I know that a lot of fans, a lot of people will, which is why this was the question we decided with for the Diamond debate. And clearly it's getting you guys pretty fired up, so it's working.
Yes, and of course the Diamond debate. Just look at Devin closely, and look what she is wearing. She is wearing a beautiful diamond necklace, and Devin, how much is that worth that you were wearing there? What is that?
I'm going to plead the fifth on that one because I don't want anyone.
Well, I have the answer to that.
We know who the highest paid member on this postgame show is. With her wearing, I bet you that thing's at least $20,000-$30,000.
Guess what?
At least
$35,000.
What?
From the great Mark's Jewelers out there. She's wearing $35K.
She better have a personal escort out here.
Please get a bodyguard around her.
I may or may
right
not
now.
just accidentally walk out with it. I don't know. Oh, sorry guys, I forgot. Oh, I guess it's mine now. That's how it works, right?
They know where you live, Devin.
I would do the same thing, Devin. Leave. All right. It is, of course, the Pond Lehocky postgame show live from the beautiful Ocean Casino. You're watching us on 6abc.com or YouTube, the JAKIB Media Sports channel. And we got plenty more to come on this show as we talk about the turning point, Seth Joyner's X Factor. I'll predict what that is. And, of course, the drive of the game coming up. And we'll see what side we're on, what the key play of this game was. I got something in my mind I think has been forgotten about. So we'll talk about that when we get back after this.
Philadelphia fans, we're cut from a different cloth. Born into a brotherhood and bonded to our team for life. We believe anything is possible because we've witnessed the impossible. While we may be from different neighborhoods, come Sunday, we are one, and we will be heard. Pond Lehocky, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction. Go with trust.
Go Birds!
And go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Up. And go Birds.
Score and save this football season on your car insurance. Before the next game, save up to 40% on your auto insurance policy. That's right, 40% savings. Call an Audible this season and contact the Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate for you, not an insurance company. That means they'll get you the right coverage and save you up to 40%. Call managing partners Fran or Jim of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or score and save at dvigi.com. dvigi.com.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at DryTech.
At DryTech, we offer 3 major services, the first one being basement waterproofing. The second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs. And then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give DryTech a call or check us out online.
Welcome to Pond Lehocky. We've helped over 100,000 injured and disabled workers obtain benefits, as well as some of the biggest settlements in the state. If you've been injured at work, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
Over the last 17 years, we've built a reputation of growing award-winning teams across the country. Staffing is not easy, but that's what we do every day, all day. The key to our success is storytelling, asking the right questions to find the right people. Hi, I'm Gary Kane, president of Kane Partners. We want to be your staffing partner.
Welcome back to the Pond Lehocky Postgame Show. I'm Devin Caney. Guys, before we get back into things, let's update you on the Diamond Debate presented by Mark's Jewelers. The question was, did Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts prove his passing game evolved during the Week 1 game? The numbers have changed a bit. Yes is now at 36%, with no 30%, and the rest saying it is too early to tell. Mike?
Yes, I'm looking forward to these reaction tweets, especially on the Jalen Hurts topic. But welcome back to the Pond Lehocky Postgame Show. The Eagles win 38-35, and a game that they're pretty much in control of, and we sweated it out in the end. Jalen Hurts, 18-32, 243, at a rating of 80.6. Miles Sanders, who we haven't talked about much in this show, 96 yards and a TD on 13 carries. In fact, the Eagles had 4 different guys score rushing touchdowns in this game, including Jalen. So here we go. Let's look at the turning point of this game. And I've got something in my mind, but I'm going to defer because we've got Derek Gunn here and we've got Seth Joyner. Derek, your turning point to that.
My turning point was when Bradbury picked up that pass and took it to the house. I thought that was a definitive turning point in terms of giving the Eagle some much-needed momentum. Think about it. If he doesn't take that one to the house, are we talking about a 35-31 Detroit Lions win? So I thought that was a huge play at the most opportune time for this Eagles team.
Seth, turning point. You agree with that? Because I do. That's also my turning point.
There's no doubt about it. You know,
but let's talk about it, because you saw this play. Kazir White makes the play on the pick, and then Bradbury gets it.
Right.
And you're obviously looking at this, and you go, that's because that guy has cornerback skills and safety skills to make that kind of instinctive play.
Well, listen, we had Nate Geary here for 3 years, and we were trying to transform him from a defensive back to a linebacker. And he showed flashes, and then ultimately, he burned out. But I think at the end of the day, when you look at Kazir White, the thing that impresses me the most about him is that he's an ex-defensive back who they've transformed, who basically the LA Chargers has transformed into a linebacker. He had a good year last year. We now have got him. But when you look at his skill sets are a lot of the skill sets that you see a defensive back possess. Like that ball that he tipped, the tight end actually ran the wrong route. He ran the right route because in coverage, he was keying the quarterback's eyes and looking where the quarterback was actually throwing the ball, and he got out there and got a hand on it, tipped it. Bradbury intercepts it and runs it back, for 6. But you just don't see a lot of linebackers with that kind of skill set. And I think that I'm really high on him. I'm high on him because he can run, because of his defensive back abilities, but also his ability to have transformed himself into a pretty darn good linebacker against the run and against the pass. And the other thing that he gives the Philadelphia Eagles is that he gives the Eagles a guy who can cover almost any tight end in this league one-on-one without having to have safety help. See, most of the time what happens is you get 2 hole guys and you got to drop the safety in the box. Now that makes you strictly, 1 high behind. Now you don't have to waste that guy. You can double someone that's giving you a headache and not have to worry about Kazir on the tight end because he can cover that guy. So there's a lot of versatility that he gives Jonathan Gannon in this defense if Jonathan so chooses to use it.
I have to get to this, the Seth Joyner X Factor. Now I can predict what it's going to be, but I won't. I'll just let him do it. Let me guess. Does it have something to do with the quarterback?
Hey, listen, absolutely. Because all you got to do is go back to the Lions came out and they marched right down the field, right out the gate. Okay, they get a lead. The whole stadium is buzzing. The Eagles come out 3 and out the first series, and we're sitting there like, oh my God, what's going on? And then the second series, Jalen Hurts comes out. And he starts to cooking, cooking in the sense that they were bringing pressure at him, and he took off and was making plays with his legs. And there must have been like 3 third-down conversions that he had running the ball in that second series that allowed the Eagles to basically go, what was it, 13 plays for 82 yards, and then he runs in for the touchdown and he ties it up. I think that kind of equaled things out, and that was a big X factor in the game because if they don't score that second possession and Detroit comes back and gets a 14-0 lead, we may be looking at a different outcome in this ball game today.
The drive of the game probably is what you just mentioned. I have a little different spin on that, but they had a couple of really good quality drives,
yes.
and they got ahead, and the Lions would catch up a little bit. So for me, the drive of the game was when they get the ball right back down after the failed onside kick, and they get to 38, which kind of puts the game out of reach.
Yeah.
And they got a key penalty there, but they also got Jalen scrambles for a first down on that drive, and they got in.
I know Detroit led the league last year in recovering onside kicks, but I thought after scoring a touchdown, why would you try the onside kick at that particular point? You gave them a short field, they went down the field and scored a touchdown. You gave them the ball at the 49-yard line. They nitpicked their way all the way down the field. You put the momentum right back in the Eagles' wheelhouse.
Plenty of game left, too, when they did.
There's plenty of game left. We can sit here and second-guess coaches all day, but that's one of the moves, especially from Detroit, a team trying to change its image that I'm going to nitpick about for the next day or so, because at that particular time, there's always a time and place for an onside kick. I just thought that was not the time for it.
To me, it's pretty boneheaded when you really stop and think about it, because you give up. I mean, come on. There's a reason why bad teams are bad, and I understand the new mentality to be aggressive to try to change the outcome of the situation that you're in. But to your point, D, they had just scored a touchdown.
Yes.
Why are you going to give your opponents the ball at midfield in that situation where you just kind of climbed back into the game?
Yes.
It just didn't make any sense to me. And then when you look at a guy like you look at a guy like Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
I mean, all of that bravado that you see, at the end of the day, how much has this team actually changed? How much has it really changed?
Yeah.
I mean, and at some point, that bravado, the players kind of get tired of it. It grows old, and then we start to hear the reports that, the coach has lost the team. And then from there, it's just a matter of time.
I wanted to ask you about Dan Campbell because you're right. It's typical Dan Campbell, flex his muscles and try an onside kick there. This is a team that he's trying to bring toughness to, right? I mean, you saw it in Hard Knocks. He's trying to bring toughness, and he's that type of guy. But you're right. I think it will eventually, when they get good, if they get good, will wear on veterans who are key players on that team. He can have control of the young minds at this time, right? But the veterans, if you do not win, and they won 3 times last year, and if you continue not to win this year, those veterans bail out on it.
Hey, listen, you're 100% correct. It's easy for the young guys to buy in because they're just trying to be a part of the big picture. The issue comes with the veteran guys who's been around before, and for them it's all about the wins and the losses. If you're not stacking more wins than you are losses, then they're going to get to the point where they're like, hey, you know what? This guy he's getting up in the meetings. He's got all this false bravado. He's got these pants that he's shaking out with all this dust in it, all this old dust. That he's talking about the history of the franchise. I don't care about that. The only thing I care about is wins and losses. And if this guy can't help me get to more wins than losses, then at some point in time, they turn a deaf ear to all of that information that you hear.
I will say this, though, and I don't disagree with you. But look at the way the game played itself out. 31-14, 38-21. Because of the losing mindset this team has had, they very easily could have rolled over and called it a day. This team scrapped tooth and nail to get back in this game and made the Eagles sweat a little bit until the bitter end. Now, I know it's only the first game of the season, the adrenaline, you're still trying to change your identity, but a lot of those guys could have said, you know what, here we go again. Same old, Dan Campbell, you rah-rah, and not even try. We sometimes we forget that some of these guys, even though they're making seven figures, Seth, a lot of times they don't put out max effort, man, when things are going bad. They take the paycheck and run. I got to give them credit for at least making a game of it today. Now, if that continues, you're right. A lot of these guys may start cashing it in. It's going to fall on deaf ears. But at least, even though they lost, they go to that locker room and say, you know what? This team is one of the teams picked to win not only a division but possibly go deep into the playoffs. We came back and gave them heck for 4 quarters.
It's really difficult for me to give them that kind of credit, but you're right. Because that franchise is just god-awful, and they proved year after year they're god-awful. But you're right. They showed some fight today. Surprised all of us that they kept coming back. Because once they got ahead by 2 touchdowns, I thought that they were going to pack it.
I'm sorry. I can't. I
Really?
don't agree, and I'm going to tell you why. Because there was still football left to be played. And that's what football players do, no matter what the score is.
Some do.
You're going to play.
Some players do.
I understand that. But when you pull back the way that Jonathan Gannon pulled back, and you give Jared Goff the opportunity to be comfortable in his skin again, then that's what you're going to get. If you're going to play soft and give up, you're going to give up real estate. Well, guess what? The quarterback's going to take the real estate.
Right, as we
the
go,
other players are going to take the statistics.
Seth, as we go into the break, then this begs this question here. We were all looking for Jonathan Gannon to be different, to be more aggressive, ultra aggressive. Can we back off knowing that they were in charge of this game and that influenced how Detroit got back in the game, or should we still be worried about the fact that he's not aggressive?
I just think that, aggression is a mindset, and it's really up to the coaches, the coaching staff to set the stage. And you can see it in how they play sometimes, in their tackling and how they approach in situational football. There are times where the play calling is really, really, really passive, and they play really, really, really passive. I don't think there's ever a time in my 13 years of playing where I saw a cornerback, 10 yards off the ball on second and 8. You just can't play that way. I mean, even if that's where you want to end up, don't start there. Start and press, and then when the quarterback gets in his case, then you can bail and get to 10. But you can't stand there because pre-snap, what is the quarterback saying? Oh, I can get 8 yards like that right now.
So the conclusion is Gannon's still under the microscope. Jalen is not.
Listen, it's week 1. The entire deal is the whole team is still under the microscope. It's only week 1. I'm not going to start hanging tags on guys yet. Even Nick Sirianni is still under the microscope.
All right. So, are you feeling overall really fuzzy about this game? You feeling fuzzy wonderful?
Hey, listen, you only get 17 of them, in 52 weeks, and the Eagles have traditionally started off really slow. 1-3, 2-5, 2-4. So if they can get a victory week 1 and go into Monday night and figure out a way to get another victory, then it's all good, because I want to see them get off to a good start to begin so that they're not scrapping at the end of the season trying to figure out where they're going to be in the mix.
They will get a bigger test next Monday night. Right?
There's no question about that. When you look at the wealth of talent, that team has the Minnesota Vikings on both sides of the football, a much stiffer test. I guarantee you the Vikings are going to look at what Detroit did, especially defensively, and try to emulate some of the things that they did in this game today. But I always say this. We will sit here every week as will a lot of post-game shows, whether it's television or radio. Win, lose, or draw, and we're going to break it down. We're going to find positives, and we're going to find negatives. I don't care how you win a game. I don't care if it's a fumble rooski. I don't care if it's a triple ricochet off a goalpost. If the team that you want to win is on the winning side of that ledger, the bottom line, that's all that matters.
Just win. Like Al Davis said, just win.
Just win, baby.
I don't think any Eagle fan thought the Eagles weren't going to win this game. Normally, when the team creeps up a little bit, you go, oh, here we go again. I think everybody was confident. We were all confident. They weren't going to lose this game.
Well, listen, I know some people who felt like it would have been great for them to actually lose this first game.
No.
If you can imagine that.
Why would that be?
Hey, listen, there are media people that was like, the media frenzy that this would cause if the Eagles lost the first game of the season. And I looked at them, I'm like, that's pretty dastardly to wish that upon, the team.
That's terrible. That's terrible. Now, I was looking at Twitter. There were some panicky people on Twitter, like there normally are when something goes wrong. Right away, people jump out on Twitter. Oh, here we go again with this team. But no, they were pretty comfortable. All right, so here's we're gonna check in with our own John McMullen. He's covering the game for us out there in Detroit at Ford Field. We'll hear from him. We'll hear from Jalen. Not Jalen. We'll hear from Devin. And then Jalen, hopefully later.
Jalen, Devin.
Yeah, Jalen. I can't get my eyes.
That happens all the
time. I can't take my eyes off that diamond necklace she's wearing. It's blinding me. But she'll be interviewing some people in the crowd.
Better have a Brinks truck here to get her out of here.
Dr. Bruce is going to join us. We'll get some injury updates maybe and get his opinion on what he saw in this game and some possible injuries. It is the Pond Lehocky Postgame Show. We are live on 6abc.com and also the JAKIB Media Sports YouTube channel. We're not going anywhere. We'll be back after this.
Philadelphia fans, were cut from a different cloth. Born into a brotherhood and bonded to our team for life. We believe anything is possible because we've witnessed the impossible. While we may be from different neighborhoods, come Sunday, we are one and we will be heard. Pond Lehocky, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction. Go with trust.
Go Birds!
And go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Up. And go Birds.
Score and save this football season on your car insurance. Before the next game, save up to 40% on your auto insurance policy. That's right, 40% savings. Call an Audible this season and contact the Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate for you, not an insurance company. That means they'll get you the right coverage and save you up to 40%. Call managing partners Fran or Jim of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or score and save at dvigi.com. dvigi.com.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at DryTech. At DryTech we offer three major services. The first one being basement waterproofing. The second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs. And then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give DryTech a call or check us out online.
Welcome to Pond Lehocky. We've helped over 100,000 injured and disabled workers obtain benefits, as well as some of the biggest settlements in the state. If you've been injured at work, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
Over the last 17 years, we've built a reputation of growing award-winning teams across the country. Staffing is not easy, but that's what we do every day, all day. The key to our success is storytelling, asking the right questions to find the right people. Hi, I'm Gary Kane, president of Kane Partners. We want to be your staffing partner.
And welcome back to the Pond Lehocky Postgame Show. I'm Mike Missinelli, that's Derek Gunn, and that's Seth Joyner, of course, and the Eagles win today 38-35. And the man who covered the game out there in Detroit at Ford Field, JAKIB Media's own John McMullen joins us. John, are you with us? There he is. John, what just your overall assessment of what you saw live out there today?
By surprise. Typically the Lions haven't been very good the last number of years. And when they were here on Halloween last year, guys, there's like 45,000 people here. It was a dead atmosphere. And all of a sudden they show up for week one and you couldn't hear yourself think. Anybody who saw me on the pregame show, the halftime show, you could not hear anything in this place. The Eagles struggled with that. You kind of saw it with the couple delay of games, the 12 men in the huddle. They were late getting plays out of the huddle pretty consistently. But overall, they were just happy to get out of here with a win. It's hard. You saw some crazy things around the NFL today. And this would have been another crazy thing if the Eagles lost this game. They were able to hold on to it, and they were happy to get out of here with the dub, as they say.
Hey John, did offensive players talk about whether Detroit surprised them in a lot of ways with the abundance of blitzes they came at them with, and more importantly, why they had difficulties picking it up?
I don't think it surprised them because they knew coming in from the playoff game in Tampa that people were going to try to keep Jalen Hurts in the pocket, probably a little bit blitzing. And they were ineffective. I mean, you have to give Jalen Hurts a ton of credit because we talked about all off season. Is this going to be a run-first team again? Is it going to be a pass-first team? It's a Jalen Hurts first team. And, he does some amazing things off schedule, and you can't take it away from him. If you try to limit that, you're limiting your offense. And I know it's difficult. I know it's frustrating at times because there's times he probably should pull the trigger a little bit quicker. But the Lions just couldn't do anything with him. When he pulled the football down, run the football, and that kind of set the tone and got him back in the game after that disastrous first drive defensively. And then, he gets the ball back with 3:52, right? That's what you practice. Seth knows this. 4-minute offense, 4-minute offense, 4-minute offense. They're able to siphon the whole clock. That's what you want to do. I know people aren't going to be happy with Jonathan Gannon. I know that's going to be a talking point. They were terrible against the run. They gave up too many third downs. Hopefully better. Derek, you mentioned Minnesota's a very talented offensive team. They better tighten things up pretty quickly. But they got out of here with the win, and that was the goal.
Yep. John, when you're there and you get a chance to see the players come on and off the field, and after the game, they're headed to the to the bus to get back to the airport. What's the mood like, when you stop and think about, on the offensive side, those guys got to be pretty happy about the output that they had, 38 points today, even though 7 of those you can attribute to a defensive turnover. On the defensive side, I'm hard-pressed to believe that, the defense today left that locker room feeling pretty good about themselves. You can feel good about the W, but you can't feel good about 400. What did they had? 386 yards of total offense against you and 35 points.
No, I don't think they were happy, but I will say our old friend Jim Schwartz used to say games have personalities, and sometimes they take on a personality. This took on a personality of a shootout. You know, one of the things about the Eagles defense, there's certain guys, Brandon Graham, most notably Slay, Darius Slay. He'll kill me if he hears me call him Darius, but and then now you have C.J. Gardner-Johnson. He's that same kind of energy type of guy. He showed up 10 days ago. He played every single snap in this game. Those guys are just eternally optimistic. I mean, they're never going to seem down. They've never been down a day in their life. Same thing with Jonathan Gannon. You're never going to see it. You're never going to see it. Are they happy with their performance? No, they're not happy with their performance. The Lions came into this game. Look, they have some good players. This is the NFL. This is not Alabama against Louisiana Monroe. This is the NFL. And if you don't show up on a given day, somebody could beat you. But you look at DeAndre Swift, you look at TJ Hawkinson, you look at Amon St. Brown and say, all right, these guys are good players, but they're not explosive players. You should be able to limit them offensively. The Eagles gave up too many big plays, way too much rushing yardage. They did a really, really bad job when they used 40 fronts trying to stop the run. Fletcher did not play well against the run. Javon Hargrave did not play well against the run. For whatever reason, they didn't put Jordan Davis in there early. It cleaned up a little bit when he was out there with Marlon Tuipulotu, which was a bit of a surprise. But overall, you shouldn't give up that much rushing yardage to the Detroit Lions. I think we could all agree on that.
John, you are absolutely right about the way Jalen burned that blitz, and I was kind of shocked that they didn't anticipate what happens if he does do that. But we're also now looking at the number of carries he had in this game, 17 carries. Now, I know a lot of them was him scrambling out of the pocket, 17 carries. Probably if you were looking at last year, you would say that's too many carries for the quarterback, and we've been batting it back and forth today on this show. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, on paper it looks like too many, to be honest, and it doesn't look tenable over a 17-game schedule. But I go back to Jalen last year, and when he did get hurt, he got hurt in the pocket. I think people forget that. You can't legislate injuries, and that's how he plays. So I don't want to limit how Jalen Hurts plays. I think if you limit that, look, as spectacular as he was with the off-schedule stuff, with the zone read stuff, with read option stuff, there were times in the passing game he missed Kenny Gainwell, what should have been an easy touchdown. He leaves some stuff on the field as a passer. I don't want to try to turn him into Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert. I need that yardage from Jalen Hurts in the running game. I need that off-schedule stuff. It makes Jalen Hurts. And if he gets hurt, he gets hurt. I can't control that. And Seth, how many coaches you've been around? Every single one of them, I bet, told you control what you can control. You can't control injuries, so I want the guy to play to his maximum ability, and that's part of it is the off-schedule stuff.
There you go, John. I mean, because that's my perspective. It's like I'll even take it back to the preseason. They don't want to play guys in the preseason. They want to try to get to the regular season and keep guys healthy. But tell me, what's the difference between a guy being hurt in the preseason and a guy going out in the first 5 minutes of the first regular season game and being hurt? It's an occupational hazard. Guys are going to get hurt. That's why you have backups. That's why you do all of these things. And you can't get in Jalen Hurts' ear and say, hey, man, listen, I want you to stop running so much and stay in the pocket, and try to operate from the pocket. That's just not in his DNA. That's how he's wired. Now, you want him to play that way, but that's just not the way he plays. And to your point, those hidden yards that he creates, those first downs that he gets you to keep drives alive, they're important to your ability to win football games.
And he's so important to the rushing game as a whole. I think people say, well, the Eagles can still run the ball. One of the big reasons they can run the ball, the offensive line is tremendous. We all know that. But Jalen Hurts is that sort of +1 in the running game. You see defenses, their heads on a swivel. They don't know what to do. when he's doing those mesh point handoffs in the read option. Sometimes they bite, he goes outside. Sometimes he hands it off. But Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, Kenny Gainwell are not as effective running the football if Jalen Hurts isn't part of this offense. They're just not. They're not dominant running backs. They're not Derrick Henry. They are not the Dalvin Cooks of the world, the Nick Chubbs of the world. So if you don't have Jalen Hurts, it impacts the rest of your running game as well. And I think that's sort of underreported part of this team's offense, in addition to Jalen's obvious success running football.
Hey, John, let me ask you this real quick. After Detroit goes down the field and strikes first, Jonathan Gannon decides to dial up the pressure a little bit more. The next 3 series in Detroit, go nowhere for the next three series. And obviously, one in particular led to that interception where Bradbury scores to change the momentum of the game. But then all of a sudden in the second half, they stopped blitzing. I know he wants to get his, like a number of teams in the league, they want their 4-man rush to get it home. Were you surprised, especially when the momentum started shifting, that Gannon didn't dial up a little bit more pressure to try to take the ball out of Goff's hands?
A little bit, but with JG, it's always about, okay, tell me what third down is. Is it 3rd and 2 or is it 3rd and 7? If it's 3rd and 2, he's not blitzing. If it's 3rd and 7, he might blitz. So if they're not having effectiveness of stopping the run, that's going to limit his ability to blitz. His whole goal is to get the 3rd down, 3rd and 7 plus. And if it's 3rd and 7 plus, you're going to see more blitzes. If it's under that, he's going to try to play, honest defense, whatever you want to call it. And look, I know it's not what Philadelphia likes. I talk about it all the time. They want to blitz. Part of the success in those 3 and outs, Derek, was the coverage, which I don't know if you can see as well on television. Those Detroit receivers weren't getting any separation. So I think he felt a little bit more comfortable. And then all of a sudden, I don't think the secondary played as well in the second half as well. And I think that played into his mindset, in addition to Detroit's running game.
Yep, but John, the reason, and to play to your point, the reason I asked you the question was this. In the second half in particular, when it was 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 9s, he still with his 4-man front, and he had 7 men back, and Detroit was picking up the 3rd and 7s and the 3rd and 9s. So I'm thinking the best way to negate that or diffuse it is to put more pressure on a quarterback who's well known for buckling under pressure more times than not.
And he did it a couple times. The Eagles could have had a couple more turnovers in the first half because Jared Goff at one point, I think he was 3 for 10 at one point for 6 yards, and he had 1 completion for positive yardage. The other 2 were for negative yardage. So he was trying to force the football into some really tight windows, and the Eagles had a chance to turn it over a couple more times than what they did. He played better. He played better in the second half. I do think a lot of times we get hyper-focused on the Eagles, obviously, obvious reason. But the other teams out there playing as well.
Yep.
I think he played he played a lot better in the second half as well than the first half.
John, great stuff. We really appreciate it. Thanks for hanging with us out there, and have a safe trip home.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Travel, John McMullen covering the Eagles for JAKIB Sports Media. And we got game balls here. We're going to give out game, but do we have a lot of game balls or just one?
I have no idea. I know
game balls.
I know
Devin's gone in the audience. We've got Dr. Bruce.
Hey, I know the CEO of the company told me he have like 50 game balls for the season. But when I look at where he's stashing them, if a couple disappear, I'm just telling you right now, I had nothing to do with this.
All right. I see 3 over there. So I think each of us are going to give out a game ball. Suppose we give it to the same person.
Oh, good point. Then I guess he gets 3?
Then you got more left over for next week.
All right, it's the Eagles postgame show sponsored by Lehocky, JAKIB Sports Media on 6abc.com, on JAKIB Media YouTube Sports channel. We're having a lot of fun, and the show's not over. We're back with the Eagles postgame show after this.
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pond Lehocky, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Action News at 11 with Rick Williams. It's the team you trust to bring it all together. The stories that impact your community, a sports roundup for the locals, and the AccuWeather forecast you depend on. Action News at 11 with Rick Williams.
Since 1977 at Rafferty Subaru, we have always been about our customers and the community. Early on, a safe and durable option, we've evolved to become the best overall brand according to Kelley Blue Book. Over the last 14 years, we've donated thousands of dollars through the Subaru Share the Love event and found homes for hundreds of pets. The Rafferty family is proud of our 45 years in business. This month, celebrate our anniversary with special financing on select models. Visit us and see why.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction. Go with trust.
Go Birds!
And go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Up. And go Birds.
Go for the poles and the pools. Go for the oohs and the ahs. Go for the bubbles and the bubbly. Go for the story and the stories. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass, free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Holy shit. And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. One free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. So good, it just disappears.
Welcome back to the Pond Lehocky Postgame Show. I'm Devin Caney. It is time to check in on our Diamond Debate presented by Mark's Jewelers. Guys, the question for this debate was, did Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts prove that his passing game evolved during the Week 1 game against the Lions? 36% of people say yes. The rest say no, or it is too early to tell. But Mike, Derek, and Seth, what I want to know from you guys is if you had to give Jalen Hurts a grade, I'm talking like high school grades, like he did his homework, he passed the test, what grade are you giving him for this game? Mike, let's start with you.
Well, I could go above a B+. I'd maybe go A-. How about if I go A- today?
That's generous.
It is generous?
I think so.
Oh, B+ then. If that's
you're lower. You're
Wait.
Just
You
like that.
can't.
Wow.
You can't change your grade once you give it
I'm
out.
the teacher. I can rub out the grade and go. I'll
You
go
can't
B
change the
plus.
grade.
No, that was my original thought was B plus, and then I thought Seth was looking at me with cross eyes. I thought I would have to go to A minus, but I'll go B plus. Seth,
you know what? I like a B plus too. I like a B plus because, listen, he was. I like to see his completion percentage up a little more, but the pressure he was under, he threw a lot of balls away today. So I get it. His completion yardage per play at 7.4%, 7.4 yards per clip, that's not bad either. But the most important one for me is he didn't turn the ball over today. So I mean, I'm kind of bordering right between, B plus, and B and A minus, but I'm gonna say B plus for the week.
T-Gun.
I think the vote's unanimous. I'm going to give him a B plus. I think he ran a little bit more than I wanted to see him run, but the bottom line is he utilized his overall athleticism to make plays, to keep the ball in the offense's hands, and to keep the clock moving, keep them moving in the right direction. He completed 18 passes. He had a couple of outstanding passes. And again, it's game one of the season. And I have to keep saying this, when you couple in the fact they did not play much in the preseason, the timing was not there where I expected to be. For him to still do what he was able to do against the Detroit Lions team that had him running for his life, I'm going to give him a B plus. I started thinking about a B, but the more I thought about it, I'm going to say a B plus.
See, we're all good. We're all positive about Jalen. Now, he broke their backs. Let's face it, his runs on those blitzes where he escaped out of there, that really wears the defense out. And he did that a lot of times. And he got rid of the ball. He didn't take that negative yardage. And when he got to the sideline, he knew it was going to be a play with negative yardage. He made sure he got that throw out of bounds.
I tell you what, too, though, if you want to go back in the second quarter and extrapolate out, that second drive that he had, some of the passes that he made from the pocket, to me, were outstanding. I mean, he actually stood in the pocket, and delivered the ball on time with rhythm. I remember one third down, the cornerback was too far off. He threw a deep out to A.J. Brown on the sideline to get the first down. He hit Goddess on the stop route. He hit Zach Pascal on, a little slant. I think that, all things being equal, I believe that pressure can be every quarterback's kryptonite, and how you deal with that pressure, can be problematic. Like guys who can't move, they're going to stand in there and they're either going to throw the ball away or they're going to take the sack. The guys who can move are going to try to figure out a way to get away, and that's just the truth of the matter. You're going to do one or the other. You're either going to sight adjust it or you're going to scramble and take off. And he's built to do it the opposite way. And, we may have an issue with it, but I think I saw growth in his pocket presence when the pocket was there. A lot of what you saw him take, and it'll take us going back and look at the game again, and I'm sure we'll all look at it multiple times again. He didn't leave the pocket just because nobody was open. Most of the time when Jalen Hurts left the pocket today, he left the pocket because someone got through and he had to move. He had to scramble.
Yeah, well, he accounted for 333 yards today, so
not a bad day.
But you add the 90, the passer rating, the 243 in the air, the passer rating was 80, but the 90 yards rushing really makes it a splendid game for the guy. But he was proficient and he gave him positive yards, so I can't complain about that.
No, absolutely not. Again, he's an all-around athlete. And you have to look. You look at the guys who utilize that athleticism in their careers. A Lamar Jackson, a Kyler Murray. They use everything they have in the toolbox to get the job done, and that's exactly what he did. And I just think, people who might be frustrated with him running too much. Now, I want to clarify. I'm not frustrated with him running too much. I just don't want my quarterback having to run that much because of what happened in this game. Defensive players already hate quarterbacks as it is because they're the golden childs in the NFL. And all of a sudden we saw Walker take an unnecessary headshot. And, like we said, we thought it was a concussion protocol. Now, I don't want to see him taking those unnecessary shots. Randall Cunningham, was that running type quarterback. What happened with him? He had a knee injury.
Yeah, but he got hurt in the pocket again.
He got hurt in the pocket.
Just like just like John talked about, last year when Jalen got hurt, he got hurt in the pocket. Most of the time, I'm of the opinion, and I get what you're saying, because if I'm a defensive player,
right?
Back in my day, if a quarterback had the gall to actually run,
yes.
I wanted to try to take his head off.
Yes.
There's no doubt about
yes.
it. But I think that more injuries occur in the pocket for quarterbacks than occur outside of the pocket for quarterbacks. And I don't know. I think he has more of an ability to control what goes on when he's out on the perimeter than he does when he's in the pocket and he can't see where guys are coming at.
Well, guys, what I want to know, sorry, Mike, is, I'm seeing a lot of people a little bit unhappy that we didn't see much of Quez Watkins, we didn't see much of Devontae Smith. That being said, the Eagles still combined for 38 points. We certainly saw a lot of A.J. Brown. So how concerned should we be that Jalen Hurts didn't necessarily get to all of his receivers? And how excited should we be about A.J. Brown?
I'm totally excited about A.J. Brown. I mean, what you see with those slants is if the defensive back is trying to cover him, he just bodies them into an angle that they can't do anything about.
Always open.
Really, and yeah, he seems to be always open. So, I mean, he's going to have a sensational impact on this season. I really believe that. Now, I'm trying not to overthink the Devontae Smith no catches, but that guy did everything I expected and more today.
When you talk about Quez Watkins and Devontae Smith, today just wasn't their day. It didn't call for them to be more of a vital input in this game. Obviously, he has that relationship with an A.J. Brown, and it showed today 10 catches, 155 yards. Devontae Smith is going to get his touches as we go along. Quez Watkins is going to get his looks as we go along. But the way the game plan unfolded today, this was A.J. Brown's day, and rightfully so when you think about it. I mean, the dude, when he said open, always open, he was always open today. You got to go to him. Devontae had his 4 targets. I'm sure he's frustrated because here's a guy who had almost 1,000 yards receiving a season ago, wants to get off to a good start as well. He'll get his time's coming.
Here's the most important part about A.J. Brown today. You know what it is?
What's that?
Justin Jefferson has 6 catches for 158 yards in the first half for the Vikings.
Yeah, unbelievable.
And they're up 17-0 over the Packers at halftime. So, good thing we have A.J. Brown, and we've been thinking about Justin Jefferson's performance.
I think that A.J. Brown having the type of day that he had today will be a good thing for the Eagles' offense moving forward. It's almost like the rope-a-dope. Muhammad Ali laying on the ropes, ties Joe Foreman out, and then takes him out. You got to give these opposing teams something to prepare for, And when they look at the film of A.J. Brown today, you think the Minnesota Vikings aren't going to be thinking to themselves, we got to figure out a way to take this guy out of the game. So if they're game planning for that, then next week, what does that do? That opens things up for Dallas Goedert. That opens things up for Devontae. It opens things up for Quez. It opens things up for Zach. I mean, it opened things up, for the running back out of the backfield. So, listen, it might not have been their day from the standpoint of, touches and being more involved in the overall offense. But I believe the good thing is that now you give other teams, something to think about. Do we have to take A.J. Brown away? And if we take him away, at what cost?
Well,
that can only work.
I can see teams doubling up on A.J. because of what he did today.
Yes.
And then it's Devontae's time. Then it's Quez's time. It could be Pascal's time. It's going to be that. It's going to be that spread the wealth mentality the whole season.
Devin, you love A.J. Brown already, right?
I do. Everyone loves A.J. Brown already. We are going to hold this conversation for a few minutes because we're going to go to break. I still can't believe I got Mike Missinelli to change his grade just like that. I mean, you waffled so quickly.
Yeah, well, his grade should be a mulligan because he changed his grade.
Stick around because the Pon Lehocky Postgame Show will be back in a few.
stream on a Roku, Fire Stick, Android TV, or Apple TV? Now you can watch 6ABC 24/7 with the 6ABC Philadelphia streaming app.
The big story on Action.
Search 6ABC Philadelphia and start streaming today.
My wife was in an accident that changed our lives forever. She was in rehabilitation for years. She had to learn to walk again. She couldn't take care of herself. We couldn't afford a nurse. We were running out of options. One conversation with Pond Lehocky changed everything. They understood what we were going through and immediately helped us navigate the legal process. We can't thank them enough.
Pond Lehocky. Tell us your story.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction, go with trust,
Go Birds!
and go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Up and go Birds.
Score and save this football season on your car insurance. Before the next game, save up to 40% on your auto insurance policy. That's right, 40% savings. Call an audible this season and contact the Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate for you, not an insurance company. That means they'll get you the right coverage and save you up to 40%. Call managing partners Fran or Jim of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or score and save at dvigi.com. dvigi.com.
Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown's 5-day used car super sale. Jeff puts an end to high prices now. 5 days of the best car, truck, and SUV deals ever. Over 1,000 vehicles, every make and model. Stop overpaying. See Jeff today and get a quality car, truck, or SUV now. The 5-day used car super sale. Experience how easy it is to deal at Jeff's. Nobody treats you better. Nobody gives you more. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown. GoJeffAuto.com.
Welcome back. It is the Eagles postgame show, Pond Lehocky Postgame Show. We're live at Ocean Casino, beautiful place. A lot of activity going on behind us with the NFL games. A couple of results that we should get into before we proceed with Dr. Bruce Grossinger and address some injuries. The Packers are losing, and it looks like they're getting demolished by the Minnesota Vikings. So the Vikings coming in next week maybe on a major high. The Browns beat the Panthers. So my man Baker did not get his revenge today at home against the Cleveland Browns. 26-24, the Browns beat the Panthers with their quarterback situation. And the Commanders win. And Carson Wentz has a big day, throwing for 313 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Oh, let the
4
debate
TDs
begin.
for Carson
Are we
today.
Hear it now.
You know we're going to hear it now. And the first week of the regular season, we already have a tie in the books.
Which is hard to believe.
The Colts and the Texans tied.
Oh,
yeah, they
finished in a tie.
tied. That is hard to believe. All right, so the Eagles win 38-35, and all counts, good win. You get out of the way. They had the game in control. A couple things that we've quibbled about today, but also we have to address some injuries that may have happened. Now, there was a play that we looked at where it was a dirty hit. In fact, I think he got ejected after this play. Double personal foul, where they rang Jalen Hurts pretty good when he was on the ground, a helmet-to-helmet hit. And it looked like to us that would have been a concussion protocol hit.
Well, I mean, it looked like it would have been, but, you know, when you really go back and you look at the film, you know, even though the strike was with the crown of the head, it wasn't really helmet to helmet. It was in the neck, you know, head area, and that's why, you know, he got originally flagged, you know, for unsportsmanlike, and then they got into a little tussle over there, and he got another flag, and that's the one that cost him, you know, to be out of the game. But, you know, I mean, it's just one of those situations where, you know, slowly but surely, running quarterbacks learn their lessons. You hope some of them. Like a guy like Michael Vick never got it, never understood it. He was like, I don't like to slide. You know, I didn't like to slide. You know, in baseball, I don't know how to do it. These guys learn over time. You know, if you want a long career and this is how you play, I guarantee you, Lamar Jackson's going to run the ball a lot different than he ran it last year after being injured and missing all the games that he missed. But you take enough of those types of hits, at some point in time, you know, something goes off in your mind where you're like, you know what, I'm already protected. So if I'm protected, let me help myself. Let me add an extra layer of protection. Get what you can get and get out of bounds, or get what you can get and get down.
Yeah, but see, there's two things that frustrate me to no end about today's game as we know it. Number one, defensive players don't know what a strike zone is anymore because it's so inconsistent. Number two, we don't know what pass interference is anymore because you see hand-to-hand combat, one play they let it go. Next play is touch football, they call him PI.
Yeah.
So I understand why defensive players in particular are extremely frustrated. We understand the game now caters to the offense. Fans allegedly want to see more points on the ball. They want to see pinball football is what they want to see. But you got defenses out there playing their house out as well, and they don't know what the rules are, even though you read what the rule says, but the people calling the rules are so inconsistent in calling them.
You know what the problem is? The problem is the people that make the rules are guys that never really played football before,
There you
so
go.
they don't understand the speed of the game. You know, and consider this, even the blow. And I'm not trying to exonerate the kid who hit Jalen today. That was just a plain, flat out dirty play. Okay, but Mike, if you're running the ball and I'm coming to tackle you, okay, and I've locked on target, you know, chest to waist, the minute that I go to strike you, your natural reaction is this, okay? So now you've lowered the strike zone and you've brought your head into it, not by my fault, but by your fault.
Exactly.
And then you get a flag. You get a flag for that adjustment.
Yeah.
And when I did everything that I could to play the game the right way within the parameters of the game, and you change your level, yet I'm the one that gets flagged for it. It makes no sense at all.
Supposedly they're looking to address that kind of thing, but they haven't yet, and they haven't figured out what's the penalty, what's not. But, you know, let's get some medical opinions, some legit medical opinions. We play doctors on TV, but we aren't. Let's go to a real doctor. He is, of course, our own sports doc. Dr. Bruce Grossinger joins us. Hello, Doc. Welcome to the show. And first of all, let's address the Jalen Hurts hit because you were watching it right along with us. What did you see on that play? And as a doctor, what would have been your advice there?
Well, when I first saw it, I was concerned, along with you, Mike, that it was a dirty hit because he was to the ground, and I noted that both the helmet and the shoulder pads contacted the player, and we were all concerned about Jalen Hurts. After that, he popped right up. There were 3 opportunities to go into the protocol. One, it could have been cued in by the sidelines, that is, by the coach. 2, Jalen himself. Or 3, there's a booth individual who could have said that this is a possible concussion. That's a slippery slope because once you go into the tent and you go through the concussion protocol, there are some ophthalmologic tests, and at that point, it's very tenuous as to the return. So he dodged a bullet there. That harkens me back to the New York Jets game, if you recall. There was a similar dirty hit when Jalen ran out of bounds. He got hit, again, dirty, and we're all concerned. And I guess when Jalen runs this much, 17 times, there's going to be a statistical time where he will get hurt. But he did dodge a bullet, and I'm happy to report that we spoke to John McMullen, and there's no report of any concussion. So we're happy that Jalen appears to be okay.
Right, and the injury report apparently is not significant. Fletcher Cox did limp off, but did come back in the game, and I guess Derek Barnett is still being bothered by the knee, right?
Yeah, from what I'm being told, they're still evaluating Derek Barnett, though they will further evaluate him back here in Philadelphia. When you're talking about knee injuries in particular, Doc, are you surprised by the volume of knee injuries we see in today's game? These players are so much bigger, so much faster, so much stronger, and they don't practice as much as they used to. Does it surprise you, though, that even though they're more well-conditioned athletes, that you have a high volume of knee injuries?
It doesn't surprise me because knowing the knee joint itself, it does support the body, and many of these gentlemen are extremely muscular and are extremely agile. So you have a combination of mass and force. So if we look at physics and you look at the knee, which is just a hinge joint, so when the knee gets hit, particularly from the side, definitely prone to different types of injuries, not only the dreaded ACL, but also PCL, cruciate injuries. And we don't know the extent of Derek Barnett's injury, and we won't know really until tomorrow when an MRI is conducted on his left knee.
Doc, I got a question, and for me, this is a point of contention for me, and it has nothing to do with the actual injury report, but it has more to do, with shoe construction, if you will. Back in my day, you had a double mole shoe, which meant that, at the ball of the foot, the shoe broke, so the foot could anatomically work the way that it was made to work. In the name of lighter shoes, shoe companies have acquiesced to, these players in their desire for lighter shoes, and they've now made a single mole shoe, which means that shoe doesn't bend the way that the old school shoes used to bend. How much of that, in your opinion, kind of plays into it? And I think that's something that really needs to be investigated, because in our day, we didn't have as many ACL injuries as they had today. I don't know whether that's an effect of guys being bigger, faster, and stronger, or shoe construction.
Yeah, and you make a very good point. I'd like to do that with the football helmet analogy. Football helmets are not made out of steel. They're made out of a material that's supposed to give. And like you say, Seth, the two-piece foot, the two-piece shoe is allowed to give, so those forces are really transmitted and diffused rather than directed to the foot. When you have a molded shoe, a lot of that directs downwards into the foot and ankle, the ankle mortise, and I think because they prefer to have a lighter shoe, they feel like they run faster. I think that does confer less protection to them.
All right, that's Dr. Bruce Grosinger, the sports doc. He'll be joining us on every Eagles post-game show here, and we'll find out more about the injury situation with the Eagles, obviously, tomorrow on the after-game press conference, the day after press conference. It is the Pond Lehocky post-game show. I'm Mike Missinelli with Derek Gunn and Seth Joyner, and we're coming back. More of the show continues after this.
Jim Gardner is an icon.
A Philadelphia treasure.
He's a mentor, a pace setter.
Jim is my North Star.
He's trusted, revered.
Appreciated.
He is Action News.
He's compassionate. Honest.
And fair. He is extremely dedicated, motivated, and always seeking the truth.
He's also funny.
We are a team of many.
Jim Gardner is our leader, and we're lucky to have him.
Philadelphia fans, we're cut from a different cloth. Born into a brotherhood and bonded to our team for life. We believe anything is possible because we've witnessed the impossible. While we may be from different neighborhoods, come Sunday, we are one, and we will be heard. Pond Lehocky, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction, go with trust, and go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Up and go Birds.
Score and save in southeastern PA and Delaware with Colony Pools this football season, and let the experts close your pool with a custom Merlin safety cover in green for the Birds. And if you join our Winter Watch team, we'll give you another 20% off, and Colony Pools will handle it all. Keep your tiles on your pool, not in your pool. Fly with Colony right now, Birds fans. Visit flywithcolony.com.
Celebrating the life of your loved one is what we do at Life Celebrations by Givenish. When the matriarch of the Dalloway family died suddenly at 82 years old, Life Celebrations by Givenish stepped in.
They will make this the easiest thing that I know it's not easy, but they will make this as easy as possible.
Life Celebrations by Givenish, customizing services as unique as the individual.
I just know that my dad, who is in charge of everything, was not in charge of anything at that point when my mom passed. And again, just another shout out to this place for making it easy.
Turning tragedy into a celebration of life, no matter how hard, is what we do at Life Celebrations by Givenish. Life Celebrations by Givenish, customizing services as unique as the individual.
Welcome back to the Pond Lehocky Postgame Show. I'm Devin Caney. Guys, it is our last update for the Diamond debate, and the debate this week was, has Jalen Hurts evolved as a quarterback in the offseason? Did he prove that in Game 1 against the Lions? I asked you guys to give out grades for Jalen Hurts, and you all kind of gave him the same grade. Mike, you changed yours a little bit, which I don't know if I'm going to allow that or not.
You guilted me into that, by the way. So
I literally challenged you one time. You've changed, Mike. You've changed is all I have to say. But I believe you guys have some game balls to give out. We'll see if you change your opinion on that.
Yeah, we do have some game balls. And, of course, the game balls are presented by Colony Pools, flywithcolony.com. I think we may come to the same conclusion to get at the game balls. And since I'm going first, I'll spill the beans. And I got to give the game ball to Jalen Hurts. I mean, we've talked about him in a positive way and threw some negative snips in there, but Jalen Hurts accounting for 333 yards and making, you're right, Seth, that big completion to A.J. Brown where that's a man's catch where he bulldozed that corner that was trying to get him. That was dropped right in there. So I'm going to give Jalen Hurts my game ball.
Well, I'm going to give it to A.J. Always Open Brown. In his Philadelphia Eagles debut, 10 catches, 155 yards. I think in one game he's shown us basically what we all thought. He would be a significant addition to this passing game, very comfortable with his buddy, Jalen Hurts. So I'm going to give mine definitely to A.J. Brown.
And there it is, 10 receptions for 155 yards, and of course, some big plays on those slants were fantastic.
I need a buzzsaw because I like both. I think they're both getting 1.5 game balls apiece.
Well, I don't think you can saw a football in half.
What are you going to do with the other part of the ball?
Yeah, I'm not so sure.
However you want to do it. I mean, listen.
I'm not sure you get the same flight.
Jalen Hurts couldn't find any rhythm with any of his other receivers today. You know, and at the end of the day, you know, without A.J. Brown, he doesn't have these numbers that we're looking at. I mean, and then you turn around A.J. Brown without Jalen Hurts, he's not making the catches that he made.
Yeah.
So,
people are going to look at that and go, 17 carries, what? You know how Philly fans are. We've done it too long.
That's what I'm saying.
There's
right.
so
exactly what I'm saying.
It's deceptive.
But Seth is right. You're right.
It's deceptive.
You're right.
You really have to look at. I can only think of one play today, where they actually called a called running play to Jalen Hurts. Just one play. The rest of them, okay, you can chalk those up to, guess what? He's got RPOs that gives him the ability to pull the ball and go, okay? So you can't put that on the coaches and say, well, you called too many plays for him to run. When you give him a run-pass option, you give him the option to run the football. And then a lot of those plays also were called pass plays that protection got broken down, and he had to flee the pocket. So there's a big difference between when you look at those numbers and say to yourself, oh, well, he ran the ball 17 times. Yes, he did. But it wasn't necessarily called. It wasn't. I guarantee you Shane Steichen didn't call plays today and say, I want Jalen Hurts to run the ball 17 times.
He did it the first play of the game, though. His first play of the game was a Jalen Hurts run.
Because you're trying to set a precedent in the minds of a defense. See, good offensive coordination, guys, is really about how you set up the mindset of the defense, okay? I'm gonna come out in a formation, and I'm gonna have 2 running plays off that formation. And I'm going to call those plays on back-to-back situations because what? I'm trying to get you to think that this is what I want you to do. This was what old offensive coordination was like. And then off of that action, I've got 3 pass plays that I'm going to give you off of that same action. So when you see them call it the first play of the game, they want them to think that, hey, Jalen's going to be running the ball today. We're going to give him called running plays today. If I can get you in the box, then guess what? I can get what I want in the passing game, especially if I can do it and I can keep you from blitzing. But the blitzing put a damper on a lot of things that they may have wanted to do offensively.
They were relentless with the blitz, and the only way he could escape was to do what he did.
That man's running for his life. They did have some called running plays, but it was a fire drill for Jalen Hurts today.
He really was.
He made them pay. In a lot of ways, he made them pay. And as I said off the top of this postgame show, I'm surprised that Detroit didn't have a spy on him, especially in the second half, especially the way they were blitzing. But most of the times, when they came after him, he found that little seam and wiggled free. And that's demoralizing to a defense. Seth, you know that.
Well, D, you can only do one thing. You can either come with it all, or you can run a spy. You can't do both. Because that extra guy that they bring that's unaccounted for, that's actually the quarterback's guy.
Right.
So you either coming and you're gonna pressure him and hope that somebody comes free, that one guy, that free hitter comes free, and he can get him on the ground, or you're gonna come with your pressure and have a spy so that if he escapes, you got a guy in place to go get him.
Absolutely.
The first drive of the game after the Lions scored, I thought subsequently their drives, Goff looked really shaky, and he looked like defeated. So what was the difference in what they were doing defensively then to where later he loosened up and seemed to be a confident quarterback?
Well, listen, a lot of it begins with pre-snap, what he's looking at. Okay, if he looks at pre-snap and he's getting something that he's comfortable with, and he can predict or he can ascertain what kind of coverage they're in, well, that makes him more comfortable. The more confused that they can make him, the better off they are because, he's sitting in the pocket and he's got this level of uncertainty even before he gets the football. Even in man-to-man coverage, you're better off showing man-to-man coverage than you are lining up 10 yards off because he's just going to look at the wide receiver and give him one of these. That means, hey, give me a 5-yard out route. You can turn it up and get 8 all you want. Then again, you look at that second series, Jonathan Gannon turned up the heat a little bit and brought a little bit of pressure.
Yeah.
By the time they were secure,
we were shocked, by the way.
Yeah, and by the time they were secure in a 2-touchdown lead, he had pretty much called in the dogs. And once he called in the dogs, that allowed Jared Goff to all of a sudden get comfortable in his skin all over again and settle in and settle down. And then he got hot.
All right, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back and wrap this baby up. We're having a lot of fun today with the Eagles Pond Lehocky post-game show live at the Ocean Casino. Mike Missinelli, Derek Gunn, Seth Joyner. Back after this to wrap it up.
At Pond Lehocky, we've recovered billions of dollars for our clients, and we're confident we can do the same for you. With over 250 years of combined courtroom experience, we've helped over 100,000 injured clients obtain some of the largest settlements in Pennsylvania. One conversation is all it takes to help you and your family get back on track. If you've been injured in an accident, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Do you stream on a Roku, Fire Stick, Android TV, or Apple TV? Now you can watch 6ABC 24/7 with the 6ABC Philadelphia streaming app.
The big story and action.
Search 6ABC Philadelphia and start streaming today.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction, go with trust,
Go Birds!
and go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Up and go Birds.
Welcome to Pond Lehocky. We've helped over 100,000 injured and disabled workers obtain benefits, as well as some of the biggest settlements in the state. If you've been injured at work, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Score and save in southeastern PA and Delaware with Colony Pools this football season, and let the experts close your pool with a custom Merlin safety cover in green for the birds. And if you join our Winter Watch team, we'll give you another 20% off, and Colony Pools will handle it all. Keep your tiles on your pool, not in your pool. Fly with Colony right now, Birds fans. Visit flywithcolony.com.
Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown's 5-day used car super sale. Jeff puts an end to high prices now. 5 days of the best car, truck, and SUV deals ever. Over 1,000 vehicles, every make and model. Stop overpaying. See Jeff today and get a quality car, truck, or SUV now. The 5-day used car super sale. Experience how easy it is to deal at Jeff's. Nobody treats you better. Nobody gives you more. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown. GoJeffAuto.com.
I'm welcoming back. Welcome back to the Pond Lehocky Postgame Show. I'm Devin Caney. Guys, I can't believe that our first show is almost over. Mike, seems like an uncharacteristically positive review from you. I'm a little bit shocked.
Yeah, well, how did I get this negative reputation when I'm all sweetness and light? I just don't understand it. But listen, I'm looking at this game as a game the Eagles had under control, Devin. And I know it looks like Detroit played them tough, but they were comfortable and they did what they needed to do. And there's some things that we're still going to have to address. The Jonathan Gannon situation is going to continue to be reevaluated. The Jalen Hurts situation is going to be continue to be evaluated. But today he did what he needed to do to win this game. And I thought they won it very comfortably, and I was not ever in fear of them losing this game.
Won it comfortably with 3 points as a differential.
Yeah,
at
the final score looks like they didn't win it comfortably, but they did. I mean, they had a cushion, and I don't think that it was very serious that Detroit was going to steal this game from them. They answered whatever Detroit did, and then they let Detroit answer a little bit. I think that maybe they took their foot off the throttle a little bit defensively.
I'm not comfortable with this new very casual Mike Missinelli.
Who is he?
You know, I know.
When there's a need to rip, I will still rip. Believe me, I will still do that.
Look, this team did exactly what I thought it was supposed to do in a lot of ways. They came out, they beat a lesser opponent, a team that didn't have as much talent on either side of the football as they did. My biggest concern is that you let this opponent back in the game. Yes, it was their home opener. Yes, it was in their backyard. You had them down by double digits twice. You should have put your foot on their throats. You didn't. The defensive game plan for me has left a lot to be desired. You have too much talent on that side of the football to be playing the way you played against an offense like Detroit. You have to change something because you cannot play the Minnesota Vikings and other teams the way you played the Detroit Lions today, because they're going to come back and bite you in the behind.
You know, I can't wait actually to go back and look at this game again in a little more depth. It seemed to me that Hassan Reddick played a lot of defensive end today. I think he started at left end over BG today. And there was a couple of times in some of those runs that DeAndre Swift had where he was getting up the field hard and fast, like he thought it was a passing situation, and it was clearly a run, and he basically ran himself out of the play. I want to understand how it is that, you know, he's being deployed, what they're asking him to do in the 4-man situation, and what they're asking him to do in the 5-man situation. A lot of people are upset. You're already on my Twitter line, you know, that, hey, you know, Hassan Reddick, you know, dropped into coverage too much. Well, listen, in their 5-man, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see him do a little bit of everything. In the 4-man, I'm a little perplexed because he's going to have to just play straight-up defense, D-Gun, and understand that on second down, they may run the football. You can't run yourself out. I get it. You're only 235 to 250 pounds, but you got to stand in there and play if that's how they're going to deploy him, and that's how they're going to play him.
With this versatility and the depth they have along the front seven, this defense should be hunting every game. The fact that they had one quarterback sack against Jared Goff, and that sack came by accident only because it was a bad snap from the center to Goff, that's not good enough, Seth. I mean, we can criticize a lot of things. That's not good enough, man.
Listen, I agree 100%, and Jonathan Gannon is on record talking about how unimportant sacks really are. It's the pressure that you get on quarterbacks is how you make them react. You know, I don't buy that. The Eagles were 31st in sacks last year.
Yes.
31st out of 32 teams in sacks last year. And I don't care what you say.
Right.
As many bad quarterbacks as the Eagles played in the second half of last year, and as many bad quarterbacks as they're going to have on their schedule this year, you need to be bringing pressure where you make those guys uncomfortable and you force turnovers. Turnovers are forced. They don't just come to you because you want them. They don't come to you just because you talk about them. Turnovers happen because you force the issue and you force the quarterback to make bad decisions.
See, Mike, I knew before this show was over that I would get Seth to agree with me on something.
You guys have changed my mind. Now I'm totally dissatisfied.
I agree with you on a lot today, man.
And I will say their run defense has to get a lot better. DeAndre ripped them apart today, but he's a great player. And I agree with you. You're going to have to get pressure on the quarterback. I mean, a guy like Jared Goff, really, they should have been eating out of his hand today. Like pressure. Well, you looked at it. As soon as you put pressure on, he gets it.
Kirk Cousins,
and as defensive coordinator, you got to see that.
Kirk Cousins next week is another guy whose Achilles heel is pressure. But if you don't get the run under pressure, if you don't get Dalvin Cook under control first, then you have no way whatsoever of getting that pressure on Kirk Cousins.
Absolutely.
And you're going to need it.
All right, that's going to wrap it up. Now, I just want to say one thing before we depart here. We are doing the show on 9/11, and I do not want to downplay that at all. We're all happy that the Eagles won. But on 9/11, a somber day in U.S. history, and so all the people who were affected by this, all the people that lost their lives and their loved ones and their families, keep them in your heart and your mind. And this is who we are as Americans. We rebound. We're resilient. We fight back. So always keep that in your heart on what we did, guys. 9/11.
Even at this date, it still sends chills down my spine in terms of how this country was attacked and what so many people had to endure, and so many people personally touched in a negative way by what happened. But Mike, you're exactly right. One thing America is about, it's about bouncing back in the face of adversity, and this nation has bounced back. We will never forget that moment. We hold it near and dear to our hearts, and we just keep moving forward.
Hey, Eagles win it 38-35. Next week, the Minnesota Vikings. Going to be a challenge. For Derek Gunn and Seth Joyner, this is Mike Missinelli. You've been watching the Eagles postgame show sponsored by Pond Lehocky and JAKIB Sports Media.
Don't forget Devin Caney.
And Devin Caney.
Hey,
I apologize. She's right on the screen.
Seth forgot me. You forgot me. It's fine.
I got you, though.
It's the diamond necklace, I swear to God. We're back next week. The Vikings are up next. See ya.
Philadelphia fans were cut from a different cloth. Born into a brotherhood and bonded to our team for life. We believe anything is possible because we've witnessed the impossible. While we may be from different neighborhoods, come Sunday, we are one, and we will be heard. Pond Lehocky, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.